that's the thing with the internet now. Like, it's that the opportunity is really balanced and very equal for everyone. And this is going back to what we're talking about with the uni stuff.
But yeah, so he talks a lot about flip life.
Yeah.
How it's a very opportunistic approach to making money.
Yeah. So basically what it is you either go to garage sales or you go to thrift stores, so like Salvos, Vinnies, that kind of stuff. You go in and you find stuff that is really cheap and you basically just buy it up and then you flip it online for profit.
Okay.
So anybody, and the reason why I started doing that was because obviously like the influence from Gary Vee and a lot of the social media stuff is from that. But the reason why I really wanted to do that for myself was that I wanted to know that at any point in time, if everything goes south, whether you lose your job, something happens, you can start from nothing with basically no money, go out there, pick up some stuff, and start making money.
But you do need money to purchase these items. No.
Yeah, some of the stuff you're lying around your house, some of it's just on the side of the road. You know,
So
you
it's
can
not
People
necessarily-
give away things.
Yeah, people give
because it's
away
an
free stuff.
inconvenience.
Yeah,
Like I've
'cause-
got 4 tires in my backyard.
and it's just
like-
money lying around. Like,
Yeah, I want to give that
yeah,
to someone who could then flip it and sell it for $20 each.
yeah. You'd be surprised at what's actually out there.
People just can't be bothered,
they
putting it
can't
up
bother to.
online, taking
Do
photos.
you think it's all a product of materialism and a product of the consumer?
Oh, look, the whole
consumer
world
market
is.
and
You want to get down
the
that
fact
path.
that, well, I mean, why is there wastage? Why is there so much in terms of wastage out there?
I think it just depends on each person's situation. I mean, like, for example, some people are moving to another state and they're on a time crunch. Like, they may have already bought another house. They can't afford to stay there and just, try and sell their stuff.
Yeah.
They just want to get rid of it,
And I like the concept because it's almost like you're another aspect of the, what is it, reuse, recycle.
It
yeah,
is
yeah. It's
sustainable
kind of
as
like
well.
that, yeah.
Sure.
It's a sustainable business model where you're turning essentially worthless items, worthless to the person, to
That
the
is,
holder,
yeah.
but I guess, what's that cliche?
One man's trash, another
Another man's treasure, yeah.
So,
No, was
Okay.
that what you were about to say?
I was going to say something, but I actually forgot what I was going to say. But also, people do that a lot with clothes, like
Yes.
recycled fashion.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. Recycled fashion. So there's a lot of that happening. That happens in generally the inner west.
Yeah.
So like the flea markets and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yes, but these are like stores specifically dedicated to recycled fashion.
yeah, so James was saying
Yeah.
about the Vinnies and Salvos. So you
Yeah.
go to those stores and you'd see an item that you think
is going to flip well. Yeah, and
really
the money
cheap
goes...
for what you actually think it's worth.
Yeah.
Like collectibles, Gary Vee collects baseball cards.
Yeah.
Vintage Marvel toys.
Yeah.
And there might be someone out there, and I think internet, like eBay,
Yeah.
Alibaba, and
Amazon, all that kind of stuff.
They help us flip really easy just from that device in your pocket.
Definitely. Yeah, like that's the thing with the internet now. Like, it's that the opportunity is really balanced and very equal for everyone. And this is going back to what we're talking about with the uni stuff. Back then, the internet wasn't that big, right? So the requirement to have a degree, the requirement to have that experience and time in the work and stuff was very important, right? And if you didn't have that, you were kind of like pushed out of the way. Nowadays, a lot of companies are now realizing that, well, just because you have a degree doesn't mean you're a good person. You're going to be fit for that company. So they're starting to look for different aspects, soft skills, personality traits, perseverance, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of those things you don't get taught. You have to have that, or you have to develop that.
You know what's funny? I mean, let's go back to when we graduated.
Yeah.
Not too long before that, finishing year 10 was something. Having your year 10
Yeah,
certificate was
yeah,
something.
definitely, yeah.
You'd ask people, and say, yeah, I did my year 10 certificate.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, after that period, it sort of transitioned to the HSC and said, I finished year 12 or, maybe not decided to go to university, but at least it was on my high school certificate.
Yeah.
But I feel that prior to that, I mean, when I first got into the corporate world at 17,
Yeah.
We're talking 2007, we're talking about a time when, a lot of the lower or middle tier managers did not have tertiary education.
Yeah.
They were there solely because they'd built up enough time
Their
in the
tenure,
company,
right?
or
Yeah.
they've got enough experience, and everything was going based off experience. So this last decade has been a very interesting time where the university qualification has become, I guess,
A way of filtering.
Yeah, it has, but then it's sort of going back the other way again.
Yeah.
Ahmed, in Turkey, right? This is important. I feel that going back to different cultures and the way things operate, from my understanding in Turkey, and correct me if I'm wrong, that a university degree is crucial when applying
Dude,
for work.
it's not like in Europe, when you get an engineering degree, you have to graduate with a master's if you want to get a job. Like last week, we had an architect in Australia. In order to, I mean, the logical path to become an architect is to either have, was it 5 years of work experience, 7 years of work experience,
it's a lot.
or a 2-year master's degree.
Yeah.
So there's this notion where even a bachelor's is not enough anymore.
Not enough, yeah.
And in non-English speaking countries, English is not just a favoured option, it's a requirement. Like everyone knows English, what else do you know?
Yeah. It's like almost like the norm, yeah.
Because our company, you know, we're building buildings in Russia, you know, or we manufacture things in Germany, so how's your German?
Yeah.
So English is like, obviously you know English, but
it's like if you don't have that, you can't even come to the table, you know, like so.
The
like
English
Europe's
is the
on
year 10 certificate of the day.
Oh, for
Yeah.
Europe.
Yeah.
And bachelor's is the year 10 certificate for you.
Yeah.
Whereas in Australia, I think we're sort of on that path as we get more skilled migrants coming into Australia. But
then again, has it gone back again? So it's sort of, I feel like it peaked.
Yeah.
Where university was so important, but I feel like the importance of a tertiary degree is not so profound.
I think that's with pop culture. Like people are sharing more information than ever before online, like James is doing, and through, I don't know if you want to call it inspired or just realizing that it's those soft skills that actually take you further. Like you can get that piece of paper, but if you can't communicate that across, if you're not a good manager, if you can't meet deadlines, and that's why I always encourage uni students and even high school students to get into extracurricular activities. So uni's a great environment to get involved in those clubs where you know learn leadership skills and negotiation skills and
a bit of logic as well, you know. It's interesting, just heard about it on the news a few days ago in regards to the HSC, where they're considering making mathematics compulsory. And compulsory in the sense where I think they bordered on the line of, if we can't make it compulsory, that's going to count towards your ATAR. It's compulsory as a subject, you need to take it, but it need not necessarily count towards your ATAR. And they want to teach budgeting. They want to teach, you know, sort of general...
How to do your tax. Maybe.
Perhaps.
I would have appreciated that. I mean, again, like I'm not the best example because I actually did use calculus, but I mean, how often do you use all these complex integration
But even going,
algebra?
not even going to the complex ones. Let's talk general mathematics, where as an accounting student, we only really used the plus, minus, times, and divide, right?
Yeah.
But it was conceptual. A lot of it was conceptual, knowing when to put two numbers together. I remember doing those exams where it didn't matter which combination of numbers you used. One of those potential A to E's in the multiple choice were all correct answers.
Yeah.
But you need to know the concept. But having budgeting in mind, putting aside for a holiday, for a rainy day, for your debts, and a bit for your spending is all important, and it sort of helps build that into students while they're on their...
Well, it comes back down to like, okay, well, what's the purpose of the degree? Is to get paid, right? To get a job that pays for your lifestyle. And if
ultimately, I think we can't ignore the fact that money is significant.
Absolutely.
Yes, but if I'm in my 40s and I'm quite well financially, but I've decided that I want to really get into my modern history or my ancient history, and I go back to university.
I was getting to that.
I think that's passion. I think
it's different.
That's completely different, and there's definitely a market for that. But going back to what we said originally, I mean, if your degree is not specific in that it gives you a license or a permit to practice law or
engineering or whatever it is,
or accounting.
Yeah, we have those exceptions where you actually need that, but something like business. Do you need to go and study business to start a business?
Probably not.
No.
There's just certain skills that you can't teach a person in university, and I feel that the TAFE pathway has actually been very undermined over the last decade, where there's been people that have been very successful going through a trades sort of process and coming out with the same result. So, technically you went to university so you can get a better paying job. Then someone that didn't get into university went to TAFE, got a job, but then a better paying job than the one that went to university. There's a bit of a
is a disconnect, right?
There
it doesn't
is.
make it doesn't make sense.
We were talking about it off air with James that people have subjective definitions of success.
Yeah.
So if you measure your success with money, which is very mainstream, and
Yeah.
I think
Even if success isn't measured by it, it's an integral component of your work. It's the ultimate consequence of your work from a financial point of view.
yeah, because we live in a capitalist system,
Exactly
so
right.
we do need money. I'm
Yeah.
never going to say we don't, but like last night, my colleagues and I, we were having dinner, and one of the engineers, she's a mother of 2.5. She's got one on the way, and she's taking up a master's degree in law, which I thought was really random.
Yeah.
And I thought, why? Like, don't you already have enough on your plate?
Mm.
And she said, just out of interest, like you can, and it's just, she said it adds a lot of research skills because you need to obviously write essays, which we didn't need to do much in engineering.
Yeah.
And it gives you it broadens your horizons.
It's interesting. I mean, that's why I did psychology, because I got sick of not writing.
T found out it was stats. Like 80% stats.
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of. I did marketing. I did 3 subjects of marketing, and I did 2 of psychology, just to break up my degree. I just felt that it needed a bit of.
Our uni had this general education. They call them general education courses, where you are forced to do any course that's outside of your discipline.
Okay.
Like they actually. So I went and did jazz history, and
That's cool.
and one was on like fitness or something. What were your general education courses?
I'm not sure. It's been a while. So I think I did I did stats mainly for psychology.
Okay, you did stats.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I hate
Guys,
stats.
let's summarize what we've gone through this show. I feel like there's been a lot of content.
Yeah.
If we were to go back to, I guess, core beliefs, core values, in terms of the approach that you've taken with your life, let's say within the last decade.
Yep.
What are those key things you'd like to give to our listeners to say, you know what, university may be for you, but it might not be. What are those lessons that you've learnt that you're like, geez, I wish someone told me this at the time?
One of the main things is that don't get too complacent on your degree carrying you wherever you need to go, because life's a little bit strange and it's a little bit different when you get into the real world, and a lot of people figure that out once they start working out of their uni degree. They start to realize that the world isn't really how it's made to seem when you're still in the schooling phase. And a lot of people don't really ever transition out of that. They get out into work and they come back, and they get out into work and they come back.
I've seen that. I've seen that a fair bit.
Because they haven't changed from that. The main thing is that if you can figure out how to build real life skills, like how to sell, how to build a business, how to talk to people, which is how to relate to people and build relationships and stuff like that. Like, that is what's really going to carry you through. And everybody at some point has to figure out, what are you going to do when you hit 65? You're going to have some investment or some backup plan or whatnot.
Going to be thrifting. That's what you're going to be doing.
Thrifting is the only way to get money on the table for now. But you do have to transition into something. Like, you can't stay at your job like that, because you're going to hit a point. Even 300K as a retirement thing is not enough.
Well, my theory is, thankfully we're healthy beings who can actually go and earn.
Yeah.
So taking that as an opportunity to invest, so you have passive income when you do hit that stage of your life.
Yeah.
When you can't earn anymore.
Yeah.
Just simply put. So
definitely.
Cry now, laugh later kind of
philosophy.
Yeah. Pump it out now as much as you can.
Yeah.
And I think if you can afford to, get a second gig on the side, have a side project that's more in line with your passion.
Yeah.
If your day job isn't, or if it is, do something that's just for money. If that's what you want, if that's how you measure your success. Really, it's your time. You just do whatever you feel like. But if you are concerned about your future, then invest in it financially now. Yeah. As much as you can.
Learn what's out there. I mean, like, there's so many things out there. Like, so many things. So many ways to make money. And so many different businesses you could do. So many avenues that people could go. But they kind of tunnel vision themselves into one particular path. And at some point it's going to play out. It's either going to help you or it's not. So, you know, when things turn, you want to be in a position where you're okay. Like, that's really what it comes down to. You know, and just having the foresight to see that. Yeah.
So your podcast, is this your way to send this message out there?
No, it's not actually. Well, it's part of it.
What is your podcast about? What's your podcast called?
So the podcast is called the Wellness What Podcast. So really,
and you can find that on all.
It's on
mainstream podcast apps.
Yeah. So Apple Store, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Podcasts, and then it's on Spotify as well.
Yeah.
It's actually about the stuff that we don't talk about. So a lot of the issues that go on mentally, internally, that a lot of people don't really want to talk about. So it deals with things like karma, things like humility, things like, you know, the misconceptions around those. Like, for example, like, why does someone who's not a very nice person makes a lot of money, and someone who's very, very kind doesn't make a lot of money, and they have to struggle throughout their life? And some of these challenges that we see, they get us to behave in different ways. So it actually tries to unblock that.
Okay.
So
sounds very interesting.
It's cool. You guys should listen to it. It's free. Yeah.
So for our listeners out there, just to reiterate, where can they find your podcast and what's it called?
So it's got the Wellness What Podcast. It's on Spotify, Google. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Stitcher. I think Overwatch.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's on any platform that's there.
And is it on your Instagram page?
Yes, it's on my Instagram page.
So
There's a
you
link
can
at the
follow
top.
through
Yeah.
there. Guys, you're obviously following us on Instagram, which is
Yeah.
where most of our listeners are accessing this show. You can check out our story or our post, where you can find James's page, and then through there you can find his podcast. It's really simple.
Is that all we've got for this week?